Right. Well, welcome everyone and happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to see you all on here. And I know I speak for Rochagne when I say that we're excited about this call tonight and so appreciative that you're taking the time to learn about something that could literally change your life. We're going to hear some powerful testimonials tonight. We're going to open it up for Q&A, but just a little bit about who we are. So I am Beth Blackmore. I'm a health and empowerment coach that has switched gears a little bit over the years after going through my own health journey that began about over 6 years ago now. When I woke up from my program mind, I chose to change up my life, my lifestyle habits, my food choices. I lost 60 pounds in the process. And as a result, I realized with this reinvention that I was also wanting to do more with my life. I left behind my government career in HR to pursue my passion in coaching others to empower themselves through their mind, through their health. And so, being a lifelong learner, I am constantly open to new information and embracing change. And so, about 15 months ago, I was introduced to a revolutionary phototherapy modality in the field of regenerative science and age reversal. And this has really had a huge impact on me, on my health, on my business as a coach, and the health of my loved ones and those that I have shared this with. I absolutely love sharing about this phototherapy light patch because I have seen with my own eyes what it has done for me and the people in my life. And so when I first started patching, I actually split the first order with my mom. And I did what any good daughter would do. I patched my mom. My mom, who was 77 years old, she started experiencing benefits within a day or two of patching. Her debilitating knee pain and inflammation that had gone on for years eased up. She was actually going to see a physiotherapist 3 times a week. In that first week, that her physiotherapist noticed more mobility, less inflammation. She asked what she was doing differently, and she mentioned that her daughter stuck a patch on her. My mom also started to have better quality of sleep, deeper sleep. She noticed more energy during the day. She was able to return to her regular walking and gardening and swimming and doing all the things that she loves, caring for her younger grandkids. She also had a wound on her leg that quickly cleared up after patching. For me, the benefits have been life changing as well. I started sleeping through the night a couple of days after patching, having vivid dreams, which is unheard of for me. I also no longer have this back pain, this compression, this tightness that I had for years. I was going to Cairo. No more Cairo. No more stiff and sore joints. I recovered quickly after working out. My energy, my mental clarity, my focus have improved. I'm also pleased to report that I feel this sense of calm and less anxious in this crazy world. But what truly lights me up is that I know that the best is yet to come. My body is healing and repairing and age reversing thanks to this patch. So I would love to turn it over to my special guest tonight, Dr. Rochagne Kilian, who we're lucky enough to have on our team. Her and I connected just over a year ago through her business partner and our mutual friend, Billy Joe. I knew that they were going to be open to, this more unconventional healing modality, and they were. They signed up. They have amazing stories to share. We've also been collaborating on a complimentary coaching program that we offer to new patchers called Cellular Reboot. And so more on that a little bit later, but I would love to have Rochagne Kilian introduce yourself and share your story and experience with everyone.
Thank you for having me, Beth. It's so great to be here. And I actually recognize a couple of faces from our reboot members, so it feels like I'm at home already. Yeah, we were very blessed to be able to meet you, and I'm sure everybody here knows. I think my favorite thing of Beth, apart from her beautiful face, is her laugh. I just love the fact that when we get together, she cannot hide that little giggle, and it's always like she's hiding a little secret when she laughs. So I just love that about you, Beth. But it's been an absolute pleasure. So some of you might know me for more infamous reasons, depending on where you were in the last 4 or 5 years. But apart from me fighting in court and fighting with regulatory bodies, I actually do enjoy what I do and what I was trained to do. But from the beginning, I always thought outside of the box. So for me, quantum integrative care is that extra little piece that came on top of my training as a physician and an ER physician that opened up a whole new world. And I do think that's where the LifeWave patches, it was an easy thing for me to kind of just say, well, this makes sense out of the quantum physics, out of the bioenergetic side of it, the cellular level. It made sense. Full disclosure, Beth, before you reached out to us about the LifeWave patches, there was somebody that reached out probably more than 2.5 years ago. And they just sent me some things to watch. And I watched it and I asked a couple of questions, and this person wasn't able to answer my questions. And I said, you know what? This just sounds too good to be true, which is unfortunate, obviously, because we probably could have helped so many more people after that or in that time between. But when we met you, I did a deep dive in the innovative approach of using things like the LifeWave, especially the X39 patch, especially because stem cells and peptides, these are words that we've heard so much in the last 5 years. And in K Wellness, that's where Billy Joe and I were partners in our private membership association. We're very much focused on being kind of at the edge of keeping an open mind, seeing all of these innovative products as well as innovative modalities, because we know that there are so many good things out there that is definitely hidden away from people because they don't necessarily always want you to get healthy. And that's how we kind of crossed paths.
Awesome. Thank you, Rochagne, for sharing. So we're actually going to go right into powerful testimonials tonight. And I would love if Terry, if you wanted to start us off tonight, if you want to unmute yourself and share your story.
Sure. Well, I guess my story starts back in February of this year. I remember the first day I patched, February 21st. And I originally started to patch for because I wanted to sleep better. And I thought, if this patch makes me sleep better, I'm all in. And then the miracles started. I started having more energy, more stamina, more strength, easier muscle recovery, no sore muscles or joints. I 6 days into patching, I had suffered for over a year from a rectal fissure. So it was painful. Bellman was painful, painful. And 6 days using the patch, I was pain free. That brought tears to my eyes. I also suffered over a decade of stress incontinence. If anybody knows about that, it's annoying as heck. Couldn't lift anything heavy, couldn't jump, could turn, different things, urgency for the bathroom. And that cleared up about 80%. And then at 4 months, I added the Eon patch, which took the rest of that away. I am now free of that, and it is amazing. And skin, more even toned skin. I don't burn in the sun at all. When I went to Asia, I had no jet lag. The miracles just keep coming. There's probably so many more that I can't even think of right now on the spot, but it's just I just don't know where I would be if I hadn't started them. And my plan is to never quit patching.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Terry, for sharing. Can you share a little bit about Adam's story?
Oh, my son Adam, I said he suffered from alopecia for over 10 years. And we had tried all the natural things, all the non-conventional things. He was in drug studies at McMaster University, which was using anti-rejection drugs called cyclosporin, until that was putting him into ruining his kidneys. And then he quickly stopped that. And he just decided he was going to have no hair. He had his head tattooed like a brush cut or like a shaved head. And when he heard I was patching, he wanted to try. So he got the patches, and 6 days in, his hair started growing, and it has continued to grow. I saw him just today, and he's actually now cutting his hair too. So, yeah, it's amazing. He's also sleeping better at night and everything. So it's just incredible.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Terry. Yeah, so this is the picture, the before and after picture. So that 6 days, that shot in the middle of him after suffering from alopecia for 10 years. And then 2.5 months later on this one X39 stem cell reactivation patch. And we're going to get into why that is in just a minute, but I want to bring on a couple more people to share their stories. So I'm going to stop sharing just for a second. And I'd love for Mary, if you can unmute yourself and share your powerful story.
Hi, you can hear me okay?
Yeah, great.
Okay. Well, I started patching on November 26th of 2024. Prior to that, I was off for an entire year on medical leave. And I was really unwell the year before that, but I was just pushing myself through to keep working and keep things going at home. Um, and my biggest kind of outward symptom, other than exhaustion and brain fog, was that my feet were so swelled, I looked like I had congestive heart failure. And I couldn't wear my normal shoes. My legs just felt so heavy all the time. I could hardly climb a flight of stairs without taking a break before, or in the middle or at the top. I was so exhausted, I had to stop, and recover. And that's after, like, I played varsity volleyball. I've been a lifelong like athlete and fit person. So this was really debilitating and disappointing for me. But November 26th, within 24 hours, like 70% of that inflammation was gotten out of my feet. And I knew that I had my hands on something amazing. A friend from Florida had sent me up some patches 2 years prior. They sat in my cupboard. And I just like, well, I haven't tried this yet. So I put one on and a miracle happened. And then since then, um, oh boy, brain fog has been clearing. Executive function is returning. My voice has cleared and increased in range for singing. I'm adaptable to my environment again. Well, so adaptable that in the past, within the past 2 months, I sold my house, bought my old childhood home, and moved all in less than 2 months. And I still can't believe it. It was with the help of many good friends that made that possible, but thinking of doing that last year, impossible because I couldn't climb a flight of stairs. So, um, let's see what else. Sugar cravings went down. Um, uh, my hair is falling out less and growing longer faster. Uh, I'm better able to plan ahead. And I guess that goes with executive function, but planning ahead and having creative ideas pop into my mind is really fun. My uh, biggest gratitude, I guess, is the sense of well-being that I have, and just like you said, Beth, freedom from anxiety. But I didn't realize I had lost the ability to be happy. I was on survival mode so hard and so long that I didn't know how to be happy anymore. And that was one of the first things that happened for me was I caught myself laughing and it felt foreign to me. That within days of patching, laughter was foreign to me, and that was a wake-up call because I didn't realize I had lost that. So, yeah, so mental health has been the biggest gratitude I have from wearing the patch.
Amazing. Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Mary, for sharing. And that's what I've also noted. Like a good friend of mine, she was concerned about her knee pain. And the first thing she noticed though was that this weight had been lifted off her shoulders. She didn't realize kind of the mental state that she was in, you know. So it wasn't the knee pain that disappeared like my mom right away. It was actually her mental health, her mental state. And and then it was her knee pain actually that dissipated later on. And also, Mary, I know that you have experience with sharing with other people and some of your clients, and they've had such incredible results too.
Yep. I have been doing massage and craniosacral therapy for 18 years now. Wow, that's a little scary to say. But I have shared with a lot of my clients, and they're having amazing results with heart issues, joint issues, mobility, regaining mobility that they had lost. Um, I was going to add for me, I wrecked my knees playing volleyball, varsity volleyball, and I can sit in a squat for extended period of time now, and my knees don't crack or hurt when I get up. So that's pretty incredible. Fast wound healing, or not necessarily wound, but this is just 2 weeks ago, my back, I'd been working hard, lifting heavy things, moving, and my SI joint went off on me. And within 48 hours, I was walking and moving and climbing stairs again when I couldn't even lift my head off the pillow the first day. And that was cold laser and patches, but like uncanny injury healing abilities. And I've seen that in some of my clients too. I do offer cold laser as well, and it's which is also a phototherapy modality, and the two together are incredible. So it's
Amazing.
Light is amazing. Light can do
Yes.
amazing things for us. Yep.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary, for sharing. And I'm so happy for you. And this just goes to show how like the varied testimonials, right, that we keep hearing. So it's not just treating one thing, right? It's a multitude of things and it's systemic. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit too and how this works. Thank you, Mary, for sharing. I'd love to call on Deb if you can unmute yourself and share your story with us tonight.
Hi. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I started patching back in January, February, and there were a couple of big things for me. One of them was my sleep. Oh my gosh. Sleep was terrible. I was going through a period of time with my mother who was getting more dementia, fell and broke her hip again, and didn't realize that I was spending every waking minute of the day being the surrogate husband and everything else, trying to help organize her day and stuff like that. So my only escape was sleep, and then I wasn't sleeping at all. So for me, it actually took a few months for me. Like everybody's different. You know, some people experience something in a week. For me, it took 3 months. Then all of a sudden the switch flipped. I've been sleeping like a baby ever since. And I just wake up and I say thank you every morning. I have no cartilage in my knees, and I'm very active. I've had to stay active in order to support my structure, my knees, but it was getting to the point where I was having to hold on to the handrail going up and down the stairs. I no longer have to do that. And I would say that, any pain, and, they haven't totally connected bone on bone, but I don't have to hold on to the handrail, and I just don't have any twinges of any type of pain whatsoever. I had a sciatica that just would not leave at all. And within, I'd say about 2 weeks, that was out the window and gone. My focus, my calm. So as I continued on the patches, I noticed my ability to work with my mom was a lot more manageable. I didn't feel that stress all the time. My energy, I do a lot of cycling, and my husband and I do a lot of cycling together. And we do a lot of hills, and I'm just powering through those hills like there's no tomorrow. And I come back, and my energy level is still good. My recovery time is amazing. And one of my other favorite things is that I'm no longer on thyroid support. Now, I was not doing meds, I was doing a supplementation. And yeah, they're done. And I'm grateful. So
Wow.
that's my story. And I will be staying on these patches because it's just amazing what it's been doing to help me.
Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing, and thanks for being consistent and patient, because yes, I mean, it can take some time, right? And we don't know what's going on in the body, right? In terms of what it's working on. We may not feel what it is working on. But the fact that you started, so the fact that you got the quality of sleep that you were looking for, obviously that's going to help with your repair and healing, which is amazing. And that's definitely one of the benefits that we hear a lot with people. So that's amazing. Thanks so much for sharing tonight, Deb. Appreciate you being on the call. All right, so I'm going to jump into the formal part of this presentation now and tell you why all these testimonials are happening. So I'm going to share my screen, and if you could just give me a big old thumbs up. Oh, once I get Mary's feet out of the way that you can see. Okay, awesome. All right, so tonight you are going to learn about how your own light, so we all emit light, how your own light can activate your body's natural and powerful ability to heal. And I should state that at the outset that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition. This is not a medical device, so it does not require FDA approval. This patch is actually FDA recognized as a general wellness product. Okay, and so this is wild. So I'm going to start off with a couple of stats here. Something that I didn't know, 15 months ago, that as we age, we lose healthy stem cells. And this is the healing and the repair mechanisms that our bodies rely on. So our stem cells actually go dormant. So by the age of 30, healthy stem cells decrease by 60%. By 60 years old, those healthy stem cells decrease by 90%. And unfortunately, not only is the natural aging process contributing to our decline in health, but unfortunately, the world that we live in, right? This modern age of convenience, of consumerism, we are inundated with toxins and chemicals in the air and the water and the food and the man-made synthetic radiation that's beaming on me right now. All of this leads to cellular dysfunction, and our bodies require active stem cells, healthy active stem cells to heal and repair the body. Stem cells are the undifferentiated cells that turn into any cells that's needed throughout our body. So they end up becoming your heart cells, your lung cells, your liver cells, your hair cells, and even your brain cells. And who doesn't need more brain cells these days? And so sure, we're familiar with stem cell therapy, but where do those stem cells come from, right? What's at the end of that needle? Stem cell therapy, it's expensive. It's not readily available. It's not accessible. It's invasive, it's risky, and it's actually only about 50% effective because they just stay local to the injection site. So this is why regenerating your own stem cells is exciting and why this phototherapy patch is such a powerful option. So you may not have heard about phototherapy before, but it's actually nothing new. It's something that all living beings depend on. The sun is nature's original phototherapy, signaling our bodies to make essential vitamin D, signaling other vital processes in the body as well. But photobiomodulation, a type of phototherapy, is a type of this light therapy, phototherapy that uses specific wavelengths of light to stimulate cells that then boost energy production, promotes healing, reduces inflammation, improves blood flow, and helps with tissue repair. And what's exciting is that it's accessible, it's non-invasive, it's affordable, and risk-free. And so what if I told you that these little light patches use this specific type of light therapy to increase a naturally occurring copper peptide within the body? Well, that's exactly what the X39 patch does. So through this process of photobiomodulation, it increases the production of human or our own GHKCU copper peptide. And this is known as the holy grail of age reversal. And just to note, this is not synthetic, right? You're not having to take this exogenously. They are your own, and they're naturally occurring. But just like with stem cells, they decrease with age. So this copper peptide was actually isolated back in 1973 by Laurent Picard. I have his book here. He's a PhD and researcher. So there is 50 years of research to back it up. You can research for yourself, find all kinds of studies on pubmed.gov, which is an online repository of scientific research. There are thousands of studies on GHKCU and the benefits. So we know that it supports tissue repair and regeneration. It boosts collagen and elastin production. It has multiple anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and even anti-cancer properties. GHKCU is also known to reset over 4,000 genes in our genome. So basically resetting DNA to a younger, healthier state. But here is the clincher. GHKCU reactivates our own dormant stem cells. And it does this through the power of this patch. So LifeWave X39 is this small wearable phototherapy patch. It's about the size of a quarter. It's a patented product, uses this process of photobiomodulation. So using your body's own infrared heat. We are all light beings. We all emit a low-level infrared light. We're all warm to the touch, right? You can see the heat coming off of us with those night vision goggles that you see in the movies. There is nothing on this patch going into your skin, into your body. It acts like a mirror, reflecting specific light frequencies back into the body, signaling these biological changes at the cellular level. So this patch consists of organic materials, amino acids, sugar, water, oxygen, and salt that form this crystal lattice structure that reflect these wavelengths of light. The patches are non-transdermal, latex-free. They don't contain any drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. There's no meds in them. So they are safe to use without interfering with any medications that you might be on. So there are no contraindications because nothing is being absorbed into your skin. All right, so here's where it gets exciting. What can it do for you, for your loved ones? Number one, reducing pain and inflammation. And why this is so important is because we know that a fundamental common thread in all chronic diseases is inflammation. It improves strength, stamina, energy levels, and it actually does this by specifically targeting the mitochondria to help make more energy in the cells. And this is where people report that energy boost, right, that people experience. It improves muscle and bone density, strengthening and building lean, strong muscles and bones. We know that Olympians, professional athletes use this to gain a competitive edge, but it's great for anyone wanting to level up their physical game. It helps with mental clarity. It reduces stress. I've definitely noticed this in myself, less brain fog, more mental clarity, not forgetting things. It balances hormones. It eases anxiety, also helps with cycle regulation for women. And a lot of my good friends have noticed that they have experienced this sense of calm, right? Like a weight has been lifted off their shoulders. It improves hair growth, skin appearance with the increase of the collagen and elastin. Both men and women reporting new hair growth, returning back to their natural hair color. It helps with wound healing and scars. So we know that surgeons are actually recommending their use on patients pre and post surgery for faster healing. It improves sleep. So many people reporting deeper sleep, having vivid dreams. This is one of the most common benefits that people have right off the bat. It has been a huge benefit for me. And what really sets this apart from anything out there is that this little patch works systemically. So it works to repair and heal all over the body with a 2,100% stem cell proliferation rate. So now let's look at the long-term results. So within the first few days, your body starts to reset over 4,000 genes, whether you feel it or not. And that is no small feat. We actually only have around 20,000 genes in our genome, so resetting 4,000 is significant. Some of you may have heard of the so-called benefits of red wine and the molecule that it contains called resveratrol that resets 2 genes. And here we're talking about this patch helping to reset 4,000 genes. Then within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced, more mental clarity, less brain fog, more focus, better memory, less anxiety, less depression. Many people coming off their anxiety meds, antidepressants, and what a gift, right? That is with so many people suffering from mental health issues in the world. Within 3 months, collagen increases. Oftentimes people think about collagen as having to do with aesthetics and skin appearance, but collagen is actually the most abundant protein in the body. It's needed all throughout our vascular system, our blood vessels, our fascia, which support all of our organs. Collagen is the master protein in our body, and we can create it with this patch. Within 6 months, the heart actually reverses in age. Many testimonials about people no longer in AFib, no longer requiring surgery, coming off their blood pressure medications. Powerful testimonials and studies with improved heart function. And as David Schmidt is quoted as saying, he's the founder, the inventor, we're going to get to him in a second. This is not anti-aging. This is age reversal. All right, so how do you wear it? Super simple to wear this patch. It is adhesive with a medical grade tape so you can stick it on the body, stick it on the skin. But this is what I love. It is activated by your own heat. So even if you put it in your pocket or stick it to your undergarments, it is going to be effective because there's actually this 3 to 4 to 5 inch distance that your infrared light is going to penetrate and the patch will be activated. So that's why you don't want to transport them in your pocket, in a purse that's potentially warming up next to your body. I usually wear it on my wrist, if I'm wanting to advertise it, but you can really put it anywhere on your body. You have a site of pain, put it at the pain site. You wear it for 12 hours during the day. You take it off at night. It's disposable. There is still a little bit of life left in it, so you can actually put it on your pet wrap it around your pet's collar. They get the benefit of the rest of the patch. You put a new one on the next day. So you want to make sure that there is a break from the stimulation of light. Otherwise, the body gets used to it. It's not as effective. We call that attenuation. The light energy in our body actually works off of a water network in our body. So it's important to keep hydrated, drink water with electrolytes, a good quality sea salt, unrefined salt, because it has those minerals, those electrolytes in it. Those minerals are actually what help to pull the water into the cells and actually hydrate inside the cells, which is really how we keep hydrated. And because this is working through a copper peptide, it's important that we have available copper in the body. Great sources of copper include organ meats, right? Everybody's favorite, beef liver, which are superfoods in general. Oysters, other shellfish are excellent. Avocados, nuts such as cashews, sunflower seeds, and just a little piece of dark chocolate. And I'm talking about the bitter 90% chocolate gives you actually enough copper for the day. All right, so what to expect? So I definitely encourage you to take note of your current state, your specific issues, even taking pictures of your skin, your hair, your scars, your veins. Write out your wish list, track your progress. We actually provide a health tracker to new users to track their progress, to monitor the effects. It's important to remember, though, that every body is different, right? Everyone has a different experience, a different state of health, a different toxic load. So you want to give it time. David Schmidt, the inventor, recommends committing to it for a month for every decade you are old. But after 3 months, 97% of users experience a noticeable difference. So it is important to be consistent and patient. And, although we might want these patches to do something specific, as was the case with my friend with her knee pain, the body knows best, and it is extremely intelligent, and it's going to heal and repair and do what it needs to do in priority sequence. So sometimes your body is going to focus on areas you didn't expect. Also, healing takes time. It takes time, it takes energy. So if you are tired, you want to listen to your body, rest, get that extra sleep, because that is when the repair, when the healing actually takes place. You want to practice deep breathing to allow the oxygen to get in, allow that circulation to happen. I mean, that's always a good practice. And just something to note that you might actually feel a little unwell at the beginning. That could happen. And it's likely because you're stirring up a lot of those toxins. You just need to clear them. And that's where, the deep breathing comes in, listening to your body, resting, keeping hydrated, and then keeping those detox pathways open is super important as well. Okay, so I'm just going to share a couple of before and after pics here. So first off, hair. So you can see the progression on the left-hand side, the hair growth. And so this is over a 6-month period with the hair really filling in. You can see that part lessening. Lots of testimonials, right? We heard about Terry's son and his alopecia, but lots of testimonials about even natural hair color returning. Then the comparison shots on the right-hand side. So this is astounding, right? With the scoliosis. So scoliosis is a curvature of the spine. As you can see, this woman, she was only wearing the patches, the X39, and actually the Ice Wave patches for pain, which is one of the ones that David Schmidt created before the X39. But this took place in a 4-week period. And I mean, I know someone personally that has had some amazing testimonials with curvature of his spine that he was born with. So there are many other powerful testimonials. All right, now here on the left-hand side picture is a woman suffering from vitiligo on the far left. So this condition is where the skin becomes depigmented due to a lack of melanin. It's often related to an autoimmune disease. However, as you can see, it virtually disappears after this woman wore just the X39 stem cell patch. Then on the right-hand side, this remarkable difference in the before and after photos of the surgical wound, healing after only 2 days on the patch. As I said, surgeons are recommending these patches pre and post-surgery due to the fast healing process. Okay, so when we talk about brain health and coherence, so this is an image. So this is an image of a functional EEG. It's a brain scan of a 77-year-old woman. On the left-hand side, that's session 1. So before starting the use of the X39 patch, the red in the image showing this high inflammation of the brain, lack of brain coherence. Then after only 3 weeks, you can see session 2, where there's no more red, no more inflammation. The dark blue is actually a low energy state, but the green part is where you start to see more coherence come in. Then at 6 weeks, so this is the third session, far right image, you can see that there's still no inflammation there, a lot more green coming in, indicative of higher brain coherence. And again, this is only 6 weeks on the X39. All right, so I have to say, I love sharing, who is behind this miracle patch. So David Schmidt, he's the genius, the CEO of this 20-year-old company. He actually has over 200 patents now to his name. He started working with the US government. He was actually part of the Navy SEAL survival program, where he was creating something that could keep the SEALs alert, mentally focused on missions that lasted 36 hours. And that's where the first patch of LifeWave was born. That was his first patent. Then David found himself at Stanford University through networking, through his network of friends, putting those original patches on the US Olympic swim team. And they ended up having tremendous success with it. They all set personal records. But this was all 20 years ago. Then in 2008, David realized that the future of medicine was in stem cells. And he began to figure out a way that he could leverage the natural stem cells that are inside the human body. So after 10 years of research, $4.5 million by 2020, he had received a 20-year patent on the X39. And so this company went from this steady state, $20 million company to closing out this past year, 2024, over $600 million. 3,000% growth rate in 4 years. There is nothing else like it on the market. And so LifeWave has been recognized for this massive growth by Direct Selling News with the Bravo Growth Award, which honors companies with the highest year-over-year revenue growth on the Global 100 list. So companies that are not only scaling their businesses, but setting new benchmarks for the entire industry. And we have received this Bravo Growth Award for 2 years in a row now. And so there really is no competition out there in the market. This is a novel product. No one else has this. And we have a 20-year patent on it, right? Till 2040. And there is a 22-page patent, but this one paragraph really says it all. Elevates copper peptide, activates stem cells, improvements in strength, stamina, pain relief. So the patent is on the structure, the material in the patch, where the patch reflects the specific frequencies of light back into the body. There are clinical studies that show significant increase in the production of this copper peptide, GHKCU, that we went over, measured by blood analysis, urine analysis, other lab analysis. And really, in order to get a patent, you have to prove that it works. So you can go and check out the patents, the studies, the testimonials. There are great videos at the website down in the bottom right corner there. This is at info.com. Great videos with, doctors explaining the technology, David Schmidt explaining the technology. So really great website to go and check out. Also powerful, powerful testimonials. Everything, there's a whole children's section to neuropathy, to heart health, lung health. You can go check out the testimonials there. There's a ton of videos. And so isn't it exciting to think what this could do for you, for your family, maybe having increased confidence because you're finally getting to the root, your body is healing. Maybe it's returning to a job that you had to quit because of the pain you were in. I'm thinking of our friend Mary here on the call. Maybe you're able to enjoy life again, thrive instead of merely surviving. Maybe you're able to level up your physical game, hit some new physical goals in the gym, or maybe it's having some financial freedom with the trajectory that this company is on. So that just by simply sharing with friends and family can allow you to live more comfortably, whether it's offsetting the cost of your patches, covering a car payment, or living abundantly. This is all possible with the power of this patch. So let me share with you how you can get started. So LifeWave offers 3 options to enroll. These prices are in US dollars. And so for a month's worth of patches, there's 30 patches in a sleeve. It's like a little envelope with 30 patches in it. And so first you can enroll as a retail customer, paying retail price, full pop. But we don't obviously recommend that, but we see a lot of practitioners in the States set themselves up like that, offering that to their patients. Of course, we promote getting set up with wholesale pricing of $99 US for a month's worth. So you have two options to set you up. You can sign up as a preferred customer, commit to a monthly subscription, or as a brand partner. We typically recommend the brand partner option because not only can you take advantage of the wholesale pricing, but you can also secure a spot on the team, and you can leverage the incredible momentum that this company is experiencing by building a business without additional cost or overhead. It is just the cost of your patches. And so what we often see is that people begin to experience success with the products. They naturally share them with others. They become a walking billboard, and then they earn commission. And sometimes they end up building a full-time business. We have many people on our team that saw the opportunity right away. They're building a business, but you can step into that whenever you would like to in the future if you're a brand partner. So signing up as a brand partner, there's no pressure to share or build a business ever, nor is there an additional investment or commitment. You're just paying for the cost of your personal patches. And so there are several enrollment kits available to get you started. And just as an aside, if you do sign up with any of these packages, we're offering a complimentary 8-week coaching program, Cellular Reboot. So Dr. Rochagne, Billy Joe and I have been collaborating to offer this digital program to supplement your patch journey, optimize your health with modules on nutrition, detox, sleep, mindset, nervous system regulation. We do live Q&A coaching calls, and we're starting up a new cohort next week. So something to consider for new brand partners joining. But going back to the enrollment kits, as you can see with these packages, the more you purchase upon signing up, the better the value. The cost of the sleeves come down considerably for your initial order. And this is just your initial order, right? Because ongoing, if you're setting up an auto ship or if you're wanting to purchase monthly, the cost of the patches is $99 for a month's supply. So you can upgrade anytime through these enrollment kits to get the best bang for your buck. And you're just paying the difference. And then you receive the difference in the number of sleeves. That way you can start sharing them with friends and family in your life, your aging parents, loan them out to people as they wait for their order. It's always fun to get people started on them as they wait for their order to come in. And having extra sleeves on hand, I mean, then you're setting yourself up for success right out of the gate if you're wanting to do the business. And so it's exciting not only where this company is going, but our team, the #1 team in the whole company. It has incredible leadership, supports, training, systems in place to grow your business. No prior experience or training in sales or network marketing required. I am a newbie. So it's just about a passion to help people with the freedom model, health freedom, financial freedom, time freedom. But it all starts with your health. Without your health, right? None of this matters. Health is foundational. So I want to thank you for coming on the call today. I encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you on the call. They're going to guide you, set you up with the best pricing and package available to you. I would love to open it up for questions. Dr. Rochagne is taking questions to those who are new to the call. New to the patch. That's where we want to gear the questions to tonight. We want to keep the questions related to this presentation. But to kick it off, my closing question for you is, what if investing in your health gave you the greatest return of your life?
Thank you for that, Beth. I'm just going to jump in here. I don't see any questions here, and I know there's always a couple minutes before people start pushing in the questions. But I thought what I would do is I will just speak a little bit about my personal testimony with the patches as well as some of our members. So as I said, we waited too long to start with it, but I was actually one of those people when we started using it. I did a deep dive. I'm very much the analytical. I want to tear something apart. I really need to understand the mechanism for me to have belief in it. And Billy Joe's very similar. She's, I think, even more critical than I am, believe it or not. So when we started using it, we thought we're going to use it on ourselves. The one thing we did do different, though, we didn't keep it for ourselves before sharing it. And I think it's one of those mindset things, because we hear this about people a lot. I'm going to use it first and wait, even if it's 3-6 months, to see my own results without feeling comfortable or before feeling comfortable about sharing it. And I want people to think about this. If you are one of those people that take longer to see the difference, but there's somebody in your life struggling, I wouldn't say don't hold out on it. Share it. I mean, it's all adults. They can choose for themselves if they want to try it or not. Maybe it works right away and maybe it takes a little bit longer. But I was actually one of those people, my energy did not increase. So the first 3, 4 weeks when I was wearing the patch, I was dead tired. And a lot of people would think that's a negative. I think I understand about health and healing well enough that for me, it wasn't a negative sign. It was actually proof of something working in really, really deep down on the cellular level in our household, because I started my sister wife as well as our husband on the patch. He's the one that I'm going to speak on his testimony. But Jolene, she had energy for days. So she was the exact opposite. So every single person's body is going to be so different because we're so unique. But my first testimony is actually my husband. He's healthy. He's a very well-trained athlete, high-performing athlete. He takes care of his body, definitely does not sleep enough. None of us do. But he was struggling with a rash or psoriasis on his foot, just the one foot. So we know there's an emotional component, but we have tried everything. And if I tell you everything from essential oils to light therapy to whatever you can think of to get rid of it, and it didn't make a difference. And his foot, I actually took pictures. I don't have it here tonight. I think, Billy Joe, I'll have to look back. I think it was like 6 days or something like that, where there was a massive difference between the before and after photo. And it's the first time that new skin was growing on that, around the toes and things like that. So that's where we knew there was definitely something going on right away. For myself later on, I think the mental thing and just that calming down of the nervous system was probably a massive thing. And then one day I looked in the mirror, um, and I saw my little liver line that I've had since I was probably like in university, long time. And I'm not a person that actually frowns a lot. It was so deep, I just thought I was stuck with this liver line. And I took a picture and it was almost gone. Obviously, it's going to come back and it's going to get better and worse depending on what your body does. But that's the first time I noticed something on myself on the outside that I wasn't expecting. And then one thing that you did speak about the ice wave patch, obviously the X39, that's the focus here tonight, but just one specific testimony where I think it highlights the fact that if we have certain tools in our life where it empowers us to take control of healing and just acute situations in our life as well, that's what we're about in K Wellness. Is about empowering people to have options. And I think that is where things like this patch, the modality, gives people options where they're not stuck with just the model that we are taught. Our daughter, 9-year-old, broke her leg, and we took her to the hospital. They put the cast on. She had a really bad break, but we're not the type that uses Tylenol or anything like that. So we had red light therapy, we had arnica, we had all of the things. And she was still, the one night after coming back, she was crying because I think it was just after putting on the cast. And we had the ice wave patch on there, and I put it on right away. And if I tell you, honestly, I think our kids are so intuitive with their body because we teach them from young. But I was able to put the patch on and move it around for you, for people that don't know, the ice wave patch works specifically on where you put the second patch. And she could tell me right away where I was putting that second patch, if the pain actually got worse and if it got better. And that night she slept through. And obviously we put the X39 on to have her to improve her healing. But just that empowering feeling of not feeling as helpless as a mother in when your kid is in pain, having something like that was so amazing. And then we've got so many good testimonies in our membership. Billy Joe and I work with complex people because a lot of times the people that join the membership are the ones that their voices have not been heard. They've been going from person to practitioner, and nobody could figure out. So we were running detox programs. I do a lot of bioenergetics, but my one passion is the myofascial system. And I think that is where my love for LifeWave comes in, actually, because I do think it speaks to the myofascial system directly on top of all of the other things that it does. But what we realized in the membership is, yes, we can guide people through their deficiencies and their detoxes, but all of the people that started using the patches in the beginning to kind of build up that resiliency, they did so much better irrespective of what protocol we used with them. So we had people with vaccine injuries that became better, clots that was just gone on follow-up scans. We had a chiropractor that actually cracked his tooth and his wife put the patch on for him and his tooth fused by the next time you went to go see a dentist. So the testimonies is endless. And sometimes there's a fine line between testimonies sounding too good to be true and us kind of overwhelming you with the science. But I think it's those stories where you can see where people had real results that they weren't even expecting. It wasn't even on the list of what the patch can do. And I think that just highlights the complexity and the beauty of the human body, that if you give it the right ingredients, you take care of your body. And that's where the reboot program comes in. We teach you how to do the basics right. If you do all of those things, the body wants to heal. It wants to return to that vital, vibrant state. And now we have the tools to actually do it. So it's an exciting time to be a part of something like this for sure.
Thank you so much for adding that, Rochagne. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So well said.
Any questions? I don't know who's going to be brave to raise their hand.
Oh, I just see one question from Suzanne. So I have a question. I've recently been diagnosed with adenocarcinoma of the lungs, a rare genetic mutation of the EGRF gene. I've otherwise been relatively healthy overall, but now have to be on oxygen with great difficulty breathing on exertion. I'd love to know if this patch can be used along with specific medications I'm using for my condition. Yes, I would definitely encourage you to use the X39. There are many testimonials about lung functioning improving, so lung function improving. And actually, while it's not the same, Diane Hunt, who is a former cardiac surgical nurse that introduced me to the patches, the reason why she was so gung-ho to start these patches was because she was suffering from some kind of, was it a virus or something her body was fighting, trying to get rid of. She had heart palpitations, a lot of difficulty breathing. And she had experienced that for months with no relief. And she's a very healthy person. And so she put the patch on, and within 48 hours, she noticed benefits with no longer having heart palpitations, being able to take a deep breath. And then 2 weeks after, she was back at her high intensity HIIT workouts. And so while everybody is different, I don't doubt that this can help you for sure. I mean, so the body is going to determine, where it's going to prioritize first. So it'll be really interesting. I'm excited for you to start it. If you're willing to start it, I think it would be a great, yeah, I really think it would be great for you to do.
I would love to add to that, Suzanne. The second part of your question, basically about the way, if there's specific medication that you can use this patch with. The good thing about this, as Beth said in the presentation, it's not pharmaceutical. There's no drug going into the system, so there's no contraindication that it's going to mix in with what you're taking. The flip side to that is there are people that have been wearing the patches and actually had to decrease their medication. So just realize that yes, there's no contraindication, but when the body starts doing what it's supposed to do, then you might have to adjust some of your medications. The one thing about the patch is if we understand, and there's still so much that we have to learn about the bioenergetic and the myofascial body, is that if you are able to increase mitochondrial activity and you're able to increase vascular flow in this, basically the structured water in your body able to flow better, the side effects and the positive side effects of that is endless. So there's no reason to think that there's any contraindications first off, but there's no reason to think that there wouldn't be an improvement on this as well. Okay. Beth, I see a second one here. I'll just jump in here.
Yeah.
Megan said, how long does the initial detox process take, and what else can I be doing to speed up the process? Okay, so that is actually a good question for Billy Joe, because she's our detox specialist here, but I'll try, and then Billy Joe can always jump in here. So I would say, Megan, your question is, I wouldn't say wrong, but the initial detox process is going to be different for everybody. So the patch is not necessarily gonna push you to detox from anything. So it's that Herx reaction that people are well aware of with certain detoxes. That said, if your body has been lacking certain things, now your stem cells are working, still need to make sure your body is going to start doing what it's supposed to do. And what does it want to do? It wants to detox from heavy metals and parasites and all of these things. So you do need to make sure that your drainage pathways, Billy Joe's favorite word, your drainage pathways are open. That means that you are sweating. It means that your lymph is moving, so you're active enough. It means that your bowels are moving. You cannot be constipated. Otherwise, say everything is basically held in. So whatever you can do to improve that process is making sure your drainage pathways are open. Then similar to what we do in the reboot program is people underestimate the basics of healthy lifestyle, which means sleeping at the right times, eating the right foods, drinking the right amount of fluids or hydration and making sure it's the proper hydration, but also taking care of your mind and your spirit as well. If you don't take care of those things, obviously, this is not a miracle patch that's going to heal everything if you do not do the due diligence of focusing on those other things. One of the things that we did learn in this process is that it's very important to look at your mineral content. So if you have mineral deficiencies or you have certain minerals that are toxic in the body, you do need to take care to make sure that you're taking in enough electrolytes, because the patches are going to start using up of that copper. It's going to want to make sure that you're taking enough minerals during the day. Otherwise, you're just wasting a patch in the first place. Or you think the patch is not working, but it's the patch doesn't have any little ingredients to draw from to actually do its job. So that's maybe a loaded answer, but hopefully that answers that as well. Let's see here. Are there any testimonies with regard to chronic sinus inflammation? Beth, you maybe know of any specific testimonies. What I can remember from in our membership, there was definitely a couple of people that struggled with sinus infection. And basically what it means is it's inflammation. And Beth did mention what the patch does, it decreases inflammation. So inflammation in certain areas present with different symptoms, but it's still the same underlying process. It's inflammation, either in the gut or the sinuses or the lungs. And what the patch does, it does decrease that inflammation. So yes, absolutely, it should be able to decrease that inflammation. And whatever the reason for that underlying inflammation is, that's the beauty of understanding the mechanism is. The stem cells might take a little bit longer, but the idea is that they actually repair what is going on underneath, or the root cause that is causing that inflammation. So it's not just a Band-Aid patch like an anti-inflammatory that just suppresses the inflammation. That's one of the good side effects, but it's the underlying cause that's actually causing the inflammation that is being healed, and that might take a little bit longer as well. Okay. Okay, Beth, I think Tamara was raising her hand. Maybe you.
Yeah, go ahead, Tamara.
Right, thanks. So this question isn't necessarily for me. I'm using my patches and I love them. I'm the person who met Beth in a parking lot and picked up patches, put them on, and my hip pain disappeared almost instantaneously. And since then I've had amazing results, including my molars starting to grow back where fillings have grown out. But my question stems from a friend who's gone through yes, some breast cancer treatments, and she's really struggled since having those treatments probably about 10 years ago, but with digestion, and then she's got thyroid issues and things like that. And so I'm just kind of asking this question so that maybe you can address it from a, obviously not a treating physician perspective, but both of your takes on how the patches may assist her with trying to remedy those issues that she's now experiencing, and just something that I can pass along to her in sharing this video that she wasn't able to attend today. So thank you for your time, and really, really admire both of your integrity and your morals, and so stand by you 100% with what you're doing. So thanks.
Beth, do you want to take this one first?
Sure. So, I mean, the body, as Rochagne was talking about, I mean, the body is wanting to get into this state of homeostasis. So I think, I mean, the X39 with activating the stem cells and the healing process, resetting those genes to a younger, healthier state, that's all going to be supportive for her. The other thing is, you know, maybe coming onto the reboot program as well, and she could leverage a lot of the great information that she'll learn from that, and have, you know, us during this 8-week program to bounce questions off of. And what else was I going to say on that? Yeah, so I mean, yeah, resetting those genes, the healing process that comes with the reactivating of stem cells, because what the patch is doing is helping to support the body do what it does best, and it knows how to heal. So it's like we're giving it the tools to be able to support that process, and so, perhaps what she's done over the years, I don't know, with treatment or different protocols and whatnot, this is really going to help support the body with that healing process. Rujani, did you want to add
Mhm.
more to that?
Absolutely. So Tamara, the thing with that we need to realize with breast cancer, and this is once again where Billy Joe, make a great team because she brings all of the training about what was the reason for the cancer starting, and it's not just always toxins. A lot of times it's emotional. So there might still be some emotional things that she needs to work on. Obviously, she's healthy. I'm guessing she's in remission now. The problem with the Western medical model of treating cancers is they basically take napalm to the body and just blast it and basically try to kill off the cancer, but kill off all of the good things. The problem with that is that if you do not have any resource or what do you call it, reserve energy or reserve electrolytes and minerals and all of these good elements that you need to then get you back to health afterwards. So she survived the treatment, obviously, and she had good support. I'm sure of all of that, but her body could just be holding on to all of that radiation. It could be holding on to all of the toxins that was used to treat the cancer, and the body does not have the ability to get rid of it. That is where the patch is absolutely helpful. As I said, with the mitochondria, you need mitochondria as the little battery cells in your body to do everything. It needs to run the electrolysis of the body. It needs to run to make sure that the enzymes are working, the heart muscle is actually firing. It's mitochondria that's doing all of those things. But on top of that, sometimes you just need the body to have a little bit extra support with binders. And we talk about that very extensively in the Reboot program about taking out toxins that's stuck in the body. Unfortunately, our world at this moment, apart from the emotional and political and geopolitical and geopathic stress and toxins that we're surrounded with, we are more exposed, I think, just in general to toxins. So even though you're healthy, it might be a good idea just to take a zeolite when you're starting to push out some of these things out of the deeper tissues to get rid of it. So long answer to a short part of it, yes, I think it can be absolutely helpful. It might be a little bit more layered than just slapping on a patch and thinking she's going to be 100% ready to go again, but it's an absolute tool that can help her get there for sure.
That's great. Thank you so much. Some of those ideas had bounced through my own head, but hadn't thought about the lingering toxins in her system from the actual treatments. Think about toxins and things like that all the time, but that's really eye-opening. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Beth, I see there's Gail said she's Zoom user on here, but she said, any thoughts regarding the patch and kidney donation? I'm not sure exactly about kidney donation regarding, sometimes there's specifications for you to qualify as a kidney donor that you're not allowed to do certain things prior to it. Once again, with the patch, there's no pharmaceutical drug, there's no element going into the body. So if it's either yourself or somebody else, or maybe I'm asking the question for somebody else, if you are going to be a kidney donor, obviously there is massive surgery that is connected to it. They have to cut out a piece of your body and take it out. And the healing process from that can be absolutely assisted by taking the patch. As Beth showed some of those pictures, the one was an orthopedic, a knee replacement picture. And I've worked with orthopedics a long time. That is not normal healing process. Absolutely. It takes usually much longer. So the quicker you can get the body to heal, the better that response from just that post recovery period is going to be. And once again, if you're increasing your mitochondria, it's going to be able to help you to get some of those drugs out. Because once again, if you go into the hospital, they need to put you to sleep to be able to do the surgery, which you don't want to be awake for it. So it's absolutely necessary, but some of those things that still stay in the body. So making sure that we're getting that out of the body in a good way with binders and making sure you're hydrated, all of that is going to help with the recovery for sure. Oh, Gail. Well, your brother is very, very very blessed to have you for sure. And then you need to get him on it probably after as well. Okay. Do you see any other questions, Beth?
I don't see any other questions, but feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to ask tonight and unmute. I don't see any others in the chat right now. You're new to Zoom, Gail. Well, welcome. And it's okay. You asked your question here, but welcome to the call. Glad that you're on here, even though we can't see you.
There we go. Well, while we're waiting for a question, I know one of the questions that we get asked a lot is the fact that why can't you use the patch for longer than the 12 hours? And that's a good question because I mean, obviously people want to save money. And the very specific reason is it's not that you just go through your patches and order more. What you need to realize is with the patch, it is very close to, if you think of the snowflake analogy, you've got a snowflake that's perfectly formed. And as soon as it lands on your skin or on your windscreen, it starts melting and it loses that specific form. That's the similar way that the patches are created. It's created with sugar. It's like a sugar crystal, amino acids, everything that is blended in a little recipe that makes that specific form that bounces back one frequency that speaks to this copper peptide. But as it gets activated with the body's heat and with that light being reflected, it starts losing some of its form as a snowflake. Then you're not necessarily getting that very specific frequency. So then you're just putting something in your body that you don't know the results of. So it is good to take it off after 12 hours, but because there is some, as Beth said, a little bit of extra juice on it, you are absolutely welcome to put it on your cat or your dog or even on your plants. I've heard people just putting it on their plants so that they're not wasting that extra 12 hours that is still in the patch itself.
And Nadia was asking, what are the benefits between the patch versus copper peptide injections? Okay, so first off, the copper peptide injections are synthetic. You're also injecting them with a needle. I mean, who knows potentially what else is in there? Where are they sourced from, right? Where are these copper peptides sourced from? Also, are they staying local to the injection site? Where the GHKCU is systemic. So you are increasing your body's own activity of GHKCU, right, in the body, and it's working systemically. So I mean, it's not as invasive, and it's working with your own body. And so it's just like the stem cells, it's increasing the production of your own copper peptide. It's increasing the reactivation of your dormant stem cells, increasing the collagen production. So on its own, and this is patented, right? This is patented to be systemic and work all over the body.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Beth. I totally agree with your answer as well. I think this one question is specific about copper peptide injections, but I think if we open that question up a little bit wider, it's the concept of injecting something or swallowing something to pretend that the body now has that element versus stimulating the body to either create its own or activate something that's been dormant and it starts regulating itself. And I think that's the important part here is that self-regulation. So on top of the fact that the LifeWave patch speaks to the copper peptide, so yes, it would be comparable. But as Beth said, there's risks with injections. The body doesn't necessarily recognize it as natural. But the second thing is the patch does so much more than just speak to the copper peptide. It actually causes upregulation and downregulation of genes. And that I know can sound very complex, but if you think of your DNA as just little light antennas, and we still don't know enough about our DNA, to be honest, it's little light antennas that picks up a frequency. And that I think is one of the beauty of the patch. It's causing a frequency to go into that DNA to say some of these genes have been switched on either by stress or glyphosate or something we've been injected with. I need to upregulate or downregulate these genes because what genes does, all they do is actually just create proteins. But sometimes if they create more of one or too few of one, then that's where the problems start. If the body is intuitive and smart enough to know what it needs to upregulate and downregulate, then the downstream effects of that is massive. Then on top of that is once again the mitochondria. We cannot forget about the mitochondrial activity, as well as, I don't think we mentioned that, the glutathione. It increases the glutathione by 30%, I believe, just the X39. So, I mean, that is so helpful, especially if we're trying to detox just from normal day stress. So hopefully that answers Nadia's question a little bit. Okay, let's see.
So Lisa's asking about if there's any testimonials for cancer. So yes, there are. And Lisa, if it's Lisa Thurman, if you're on our team, it's in the Google Doc that Billy Joe put together. So we have a whole, I mean, there's testimonials everywhere. Once you're, I mean, and if you're not even on the team yet, if you want to ask whoever invited you on the call for testimonials, they can dig them up for you. I mean, there's a variety of different resources that we rely on for testimonials. I know we have access to two really powerful ones in our Google Doc that we have as a team about testimonials for cancer.
Perfect. I love that answer. I see Mary G said, I put my used patch for my son to sleep on, and he has had improvements in mental health without knowing he was using the patch, finding life just a little easier.
Oh,
Well,
that's interesting.
that's always good. Any help you
Yeah.
can get with mental health, especially with young kids. And she said, I also put patches on my cats and their health has improved from near death a couple of times since then. I've improved diet. Absolutely. I've seen a lot of good testimonies actually about pets that have made massive changes from being almost close to death, and especially with arthritis. And it's once again, I mean, obviously what we feed our animals, because we weren't taught the proper way to feed our animals, but also what we're injecting in our animals is not helping their health either. So I do think that plays a role for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
And just a note, I know that Mary had mentioned that she put it on her son to sleep. So, but what you could do is, because sometimes that could keep them have more energy, whether it's your pets or your kids or people that you're sharing a patch with for the maybe the 6 to 8 hours left of that patch. You can keep it on your bedside table away from an infrared heat source, right? Away from your body. And then, so then it stops activating. And then once it's on a living, breathing being, then it's going to activate again. So you would likely put it on the next day, you know, in case that it gives them too much energy, so they're not able to sleep, because it is a daytime patch. It gives you energy. It sets you up for a great sleep at night, but it is a daytime patch where you want to wear it 12 hours during the day. I think the hardest part about this patch is remembering to put it on and take it off and keeping hydrated. Those are the two things you need to worry about with this patch.
Absolutely. And it's like anything. Once you're in it, say 10 to 13 days or so, then it becomes a normal thing. Then you don't forget about it. One thing I want to add here, Beth, I've had a couple of private messages of people knowing where they can sign up with me. So full transparency, I'm not signed up with LifeWave. I want to keep it that way to keep my independence, but you can absolutely connect with me at our membership, keytowellness.ca, as well as Billy Joe, that is my partner in K Wellness. She is signed up with LifeWave. I am their #1 fan and ambassador, though, that I can tell you.
Excellent. Yes.
Beth, if there's time, I'd like to ask a question on behalf of someone who couldn't be here tonight.
Sure. Yes,
All
go ahead,
right.
Abina.
The lady who couldn't be here tonight wondered if, Dr. Rochagne, you had a comment on shingles and the pain of shingles and use of patches in relation to shingles.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I would say, Abina, the thing is with shingles, it's a dormant chickenpox virus that's now stuck in the nervous pathway. So wherever you get that shingles, it's in that dermatome. The problem with that is most of the time it's dormant until you get stressed and then it activates. So maybe the patch, I don't know, Beth, if you know of people that have reversed it, I haven't seen one specific testimony, but with the pain, if you're going to be wearing the X39, it's going to decrease your inflammation. And a lot of that pain that's connected with it is actually inflammation and swelling around the nerves that is in that what they call the dermatome. So I can believe that it's definitely going to improve that. On top of that, the second part of it, there is another patch, which we don't want to talk about all the patches tonight. What is the Eon that is specifically just focused on an anti-inflammation. But we mentioned earlier tonight the Ice Wave patch, which I do believe is that kind of go-to last resort if you really are in massive pain. That decreases that pain. I think, not I think, I kind of know it works differently than the X39. It's not kind of going to the root cause. It's more like visiting an acupuncturist. You are interrupting that pain pathway. So if somebody is really struggling with the neuropathy of shingles, I would say start using the X39 on a daily basis to kind of sort out the underlying immune issues that's making them prone to getting the herpes zoster or shingles. Then on top of that, for that severe pain, they can absolutely use the ice wave. There's a very specific way of putting the ice wave. Some people put it underneath their feet because it's the idea is that it breaks that pain pathway going from the brain down into that reflexology part. But what I found is when you put it as close to the area of where the pain is, and then you move, there's a way, I think there's some videos that explain, and you move the second patch in a clockwise direction until you actually feel it improve. And it needs to be immediate. So that's why I say I do think it works on the acupuncture pathway because it's an immediate effect. If you don't feel it immediately, it's either you haven't put it on the right spot or you might need to double up. I know the neuropathy of shingles can be very bad, so it might be that you have to double up on some of these just to get some relief as well.
I'm wondering too, we haven't talked about glutathione too much, but there is another patch, a glutathione patch that increases the
Yep.
production of our own glutathione by 300%.
Yep.
So while the X39 increases by 30%, there is a glutathione. So I'm just thinking that, and people may want to use that staggered or
Yep.
not for 12 hours at a time. And so, you know, because that could be quite a big detox for somebody, especially
Mhm.
wearing it for the first time. And I would ease into it with an X39 first, right? To get the body at least the 30% up with the glutathione and then, you know, potentially put the glutathione patch when they're having something like this that they're wanting to detox for something more acute.
Absolutely. And just to get back to the whole, once again, if we understand mechanisms, you always take it to the cellular, to the root cause level. If somebody's immune system keeps on being challenged, if they've sorted out the emotional, the stress part of it, it might just mean that there is a immune deficiency that's related to minerals once again. If zinc isn't being able to be absorbed into the body and used, or there's copper toxicity, all of those ratios, and that's where Billy Joe is excellently trained in this, that there might just be a reason to do something like a hair mineral analysis to see if there's some minerals lacking that actually prevents the body from doing its immune job, what we expect it to do as well.
Thank you very much for that. She'll be watching the recording.
Perfect. You're welcome, Abina. Okay.
I don't see any other hands up or questions in the chat. So I'm going to, well, first off, thank you, Rochagne, so much for joining the call tonight. I really appreciate you being on here, and I know we all appreciate you being on here and everything that you've been going through in the last couple of years. We thank you for your bravery, your courage, and I'm just so grateful that we have connected and do the cellular reboot together as well. So if anyone's interested in that, new brand partners, you know, this is, you know, leveraging this amazing program with us for 8 weeks. It's a free program with the core package or above. And so you'll get access to Billy Joe, Dr. Rochagne, and I, and it's a digital program. I encourage you to reach out to the person that invited you on the call, right? They can answer any other questions, provide other testimonials. And oh, I see Gail. I see Gail.
Oh, hi.
Down
And
her video.
can you hear me too? Do you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you so much for the presentation.
sure.
I work in a dental office, so I'm not on a computer. I'm not used to doing Zoom phone calls.
Right.
And well, I mean, I saw the camera. Someone suggested it to me. I don't remember your
Tamara, yeah.
Tamara, thank you for. I thought that was it, but then I would click on the camera and I didn't know if you could see me. So I think I've been on, off, on, off. So I hope I wasn't distracting.
Not at all.
And yeah, and thank you for that info. I was listening.
Awesome.
And then I was trying to get my question in too, because I was thinking, no, don't go, because I also couldn't find the chat, like
Oh,
to
okay.
ask. I think I
Right.
have it now. I'll be better next time.
Okay, great. Well, thank you
Next.
so much for joining, Gail.
Yeah,
Hi,
thank you.
Gail.
I
So
know. Hi,
many
Abinia.
years.
I know.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Abinia and I are very close. We've known each other for years, but she lives in Alberta and I live in Toronto. So we
Okay,
haven't seen each
nice.
other. So it's nice to see you, Abinia.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, thanks.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Well,
Love it.
good luck with the surgery, Gail, and the recovery.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Thanks. I think this patch sounds great. So thank you for informing me about it.
You're
Great.
welcome.
And Abinia introducing me to it.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, everyone. I appreciate your time tonight. This has been a great call. I love your engagement and the questions. I would love to see you on this team. This is a top-notch, exciting team to be a part of as well. So, I mean, whether or not you're interested in the business or not, it just might be something that is up your alley once you get in and find out what this technology is all about, what the team is all about. But obviously no pressure, but just getting on the patches and experiencing your benefits is what we really want to see. And then you'll be on a Zoom call sharing your testimonials. So I appreciate everybody's time tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. This Zoom call is going to be posted on my YouTube channel at Beth Blackmore. And so you can share it out from there. It'll be on hopefully within the next hour. But I encourage you to reach out to the person that invited you on the call, and I hope to see you all on the team soon. Take care, everybody.
Thank you,
you.
everybody.